Salute, salute. Salute to the internal indigenous spiritual most high. Trolls only God and your mama can love you. And one time it remembers the brother in the cut. Here we go, where's me gold? I need my shillings so I control. We about to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. I tell people time and time again when I go live that there's different acts created by our government that help erase who we really are on paper. So anytime I mention a black indigenous or a black Indian, even black people tend to laugh. And well, you know what we get from our other counterparts. Well, seeing is believing. So let's check this out. Fair use, educational purposes. This is young elder. There we go, young elder. Excuse me. So fair use, commentary purposes, literary purposes, fair use purposes, all of that good stuff. Let's go.
What's going on, YouTube? Listen up, young elder gang. This is Shoeshine Joe at you with another banger. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, fam. I hope this video get at least 100,000 likes. In this video, you will find history definitions, scripture information, and best of all, what we Americans have been deprived of from the beginning. The truth, keep in mind, this content used in this video is intended for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. We will give you the total truth as we best understand it today. Be sure to hit that like button, young elder gang. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit that bell, and don't.
Now, as you can see, it says paper genocide. How Virginia's Racial Integrity Act erased Native American identity. Watch when you actually see who the Native Americans really were. Okay, FBA family, black people, I need y'all to tune in. Okay, I need y'all to tune in. Let's go.
Don't forget to check back with us every day for new content. Imagine your family's story, your ancestors, their traditions, their connection to the land, suddenly erased by a law. In 1924, Virginia passed the Racial Integrity Act, a law made of words, not walls, but with the power to reshape lives. It dictated who people could marry and how they were identified, all in the name of so-called racial purity. The government decided your race for you, stamping it on birth certificates and marriage licenses. This wasn't just bureaucracy, it was a system of control, deepening segregation and dividing communities. For Virginia's Native American tribes, the law was devastating. Their ancient history and unique identities were ignored. Instead, the law forced them into categories that erased their existence. Official records became barriers, determining where you could live, who you could love, and what future you could have. The Racial Integrity Act was a quiet attack, not with weapons, but with ink. It tried to erase Native Americans from Virginia's story, one document at a time. This was not just a law, it was a wound carved into history.
Now, is it just me or do I see black Indians? He's using the term tribal and native. I see black people. I see black people. No, but we're African Americans. We came from Africa, though. We came over here on a boat, and, you know, these people don't look African to me. These people look indigenous to me. These people have black features. Look at the cheekbones. Look at the skin complexion. Look at the noses, the ears, the hair. Does this remind you of anyone? Anyone right here in America who has been reclassified so many times? I mean, it finally stopped at African American. Does this remind you of anyone? I'm just saying. Let's go.
The scars of that wound are still felt today, and it all began with a pen and a piece of paper. The Racial Integrity Act forced every Virginian into one of two boxes, white or colored. No in between, no recognition of Native identity. The law's definition of white was so strict, almost no one qualified. Native Americans were forced into the colored category, erasing their heritage on every official document.
Again, the depiction is what? Look at the complexion. Look at the skin pigmentation. Look at the overall depiction on the true Native Americans. And this was in Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. They ran rampant through the South. Rampant through the South. But there's always a hater, you know. These people will tell you who you are. They will argue tooth and nail who you are. You're from Africa. You're black. You were imported here. You were a slave. And you can tell them, I know who I am. I'm indigenous. I was here before you. This is my land. Mind yourself and practice some proper etiquette and manners while you're here as a guest. And they will double down and never once tell you who they are. Never once tell you who they are. They just hide behind weaponized colorization. White.
This wasn't an accident, it was a deliberate act to simplify and control, ignoring the reality of Virginia's people. Being labeled colored meant facing the full force of Jim Crow segregation, discrimination in schools, jobs, and housing. Birth certificates and marriage licenses became tools of erasure, making it nearly impossible for Native families to prove their lineage. This process is now called paper genocide, destroying a people.
What color is this brother right here? This is a Native American. This is a black Indian. Oh no, they would label him an African American after paper genocide, after the U.S. Census, after Walter Plecker. But no, y'all didn't believe me. Y'all didn't believe me. I told you the lies should have quit when the internet hit. Not one time growing up did anyone in my family, grandmother, mother, anyone on any side, tell me that I had any African cousins or I had any link to the African continent. But what I do remember them saying is, boy, you got Indian in your blood, boy. Such and such was Indian, such and such was Cherokee. You know, Indian, 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 Indian. I remember that. I remember that distinctively. I remember that. So don't let these people tell you who you are. They know who you are. They're just hoping you don't find out who you are. But thanks to me and videos like this, you just found out who you are. Let's go.
People by erasing them from records. If Native Americans didn't exist on paper, the state could deny their rights and take their land. The law turned identity into a weapon. It was a war fought with forms, not guns. And for many, it felt like their very existence was being erased, all with the stroke of a pen.
There he is, Walter Plecker. There he is, Walter Plecker.
At the center of this erasure was Walter Plecker, head of Virginia's Bureau of Vital Statistics. A believer in eugenics, Plecker was obsessed with racial purity. He enforced the Racial Integrity Act with zeal, targeting Native Americans relentlessly. Plecker refused to recognize Native identity, ordering officials to list everyone as either white or colored, never Indian. He sent threatening letters, personal.
I told y'all this was our land, man. These people wanted something from us that belonged to us. They made up this whole story about Africa so that we never caught on to the fact that we were indigenous people of the land. We were already here. So every time we bring up reparations, they bring up Africa. We need to be bringing up reparations right here. Forget Africa. Forget Africa. These people reclassified us, made us prisoners of war, made our ancestors slaves, and stole our land right here, stole our resources right here, stole our identity right here, changed our history right here. What do we care about Africa? Our fight is right here with this country. We were here before it was even a country. Imagine that. We were here before it had a name. Imagine that. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Changed documents and kept lists of native surnames to hunt down families. Generations of tribal history were wiped out with a single signature. Families were split, one sibling labeled Indian, another colored, creating confusion and pain. Some tried to pass as white, forced to abandon their culture to escape discrimination. Plecker's campaign isolated tribes, making it nearly impossible to prove their existence to the federal government. His goal to sever the link between past and present, erasing Native people from Virginia's future. The damage he caused still echoes in Native communities today, all because of one man's pen. As Virginia's first registrar of the Bureau of Vital Statistics from 1912 to 1946, Plecker was a zealous advocate for white supremacy and eugenics who weaponized his office to enforce the Racial Integrity Act.
Are we surprised? Are we surprised? These people always have has tricks up their sleeves. And what gets me is they were able to unify long enough to pull all this off. We're gonna write in colonization. We're gonna write in all these acts. Excuse me. We're gonna write in all these laws, all these policies, and then we're gonna hide it. We're gonna write in politics, you know, voting rights, and then hide the history of that too, and do it so well until the internet came out. Told y'all the lies should have quit when the internet hit. The lies should have quit when the internet hit. We are not African American. We are not. They know it. They were just never expecting us to know it and or ever find out, ladies and gentlemen.
In 1930, Plecker successfully lobbied for an update to the law that defined a colored person as anyone with even a drop of black ancestry. He applied this rule broadly to all Native Americans in the state, arguing that centuries of intermarriage meant no pure Virginia Indians existed. Plecker had birth and marriage certificates reclassified from Indian to colored, and threatened clerks with jail time if they recorded people as anything other than white or colored. He also provided state health officials with lists of surnames belonging to families he believed were misrepresenting their race. Plecker's racist.
What color are these Native Americans slash Indians that you see on the screen? This is history, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say I made this up. Don't say I made this up. This is history, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't like coming up on the wrong side of history, try coming up on the right side of history rather than the white side of history. But this is history, and this is what they try to hide from us. This is what they will not teach in their public school facilities. This is what's important for us to teach at home to our children so that our children know the truth. We have to be aware of indoctrination and also fight and correct the indoctrinated lies that they teach our children, even the lies that they taught us.
Directives specifically targeted tribes like the Monacan and Pamunkey, forcing native peoples into the colored designation and denying their cultural heritage and very existence. The harm didn't end with Plecker's retirement. For decades, Native Virginians had their heritage stripped away, leaving gaps in the historical record. When tribes sought federal recognition, they faced a wall. Official records denied their existence. They turned to church logs, family Bibles, and oral histories to piece together.
Again, who do you see here? Who do you see here, ladies and gentlemen? Who do you see here? These people don't look like those Siberian Asians that came down the Bering Strait. They don't look the same. They don't look like the people we saw with the pilgrims. They look like us. Perhaps they were us. Perhaps they, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps they are us. Perhaps we are them. All I know is we're not African American. All I know is I'm not with no Pan Africanism. All I know is I'm foundational Black American.
Together their past. It took years of advocacy for some tribes to finally gain recognition and access to vital resources. The fight was not just legal, it was deeply personal. Imagine being told your whole life that
He's using the term tribes, and he's showing you people who look like us, Black people, ladies and gentlemen. We were reclassified. I'm trying to put it out there to you. If you've ever wondered, I'm showing you. Take it from here. Do the research. Get curious, ladies and gentlemen. Start doubting every darn thing these people tell you.
you are not who you know you are. The Racial Integrity Act left emotional scars, forcing generations to defend their identity. Even after the law was struck down in 1967 by the Supreme Court's Loving v. Virginia decision, the false records remained. The struggle to correct them and to heal continues. The story of paper genocide is not just history, it's a living legacy. But Native communities have refused to be erased. Their survival is an act of resistance. Understanding this history matters. The Racial Integrity Act shows how laws can be weapons and how identity can be stolen with a signature.
Again, how identities can be stolen with a signature, and you see what and who on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Where do you think the term white lies came from? White history. This is his story. I'm trying to show you our story right now. I'm trying to introduce you to our story right now. We were replaced by who you know as the Native Americans. They received our reparations. They're on our land as well.
Today, Virginia allows people to correct falsified records, a step toward justice. Several tribes have finally gained recognition thanks to decades of perseverance. Reclaiming history happens in tribal centers, museums, and family stories. It's in the elders' voices, in the traditions passed down, and in the refusal to be silenced. By learning these stories, we honor those who survived.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all let me know what you think of this. Let me know what you think. But I've been telling y'all in my live streams, there were so many different acts to the Eraser Act, to the whitening process. Okay? They use so many different white supremacist tactics, man. There's no way possible you're going to be you're going to be aware of each and every one of them, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact is they did it. Why? Because they know who we really are. They know what they really did. And they know what we must do to get our land back. They're not going to give it. I'm going to leave that right there. If you're curious, I'll be posting more videos like this, but do your own due diligence and do your research as well. Find out who you are. I guarantee your search should start here first. Unless you know you're an immigrant, your search should be right here as a foundational Black American. You're not African American. That term died along with Jesse Jackson, who was also full blooded Cherokee Indian. Jesse Jackson, full blooded Cherokee Indian. Frederick Douglass, Potomac Indian. His nickname was the Little Indian Boy. Put two and two together, ladies and gentlemen. They know the truth. It's time for us to know the truth. With that being said, get your one on one, get your one on one, get your one on one with the true indigenous spiritual most high, y'all. That internal most high, y'all. Y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay conscious, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, be you. And shout out to young elders. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe there and subscribe here as well. Ashe.